Since 1986, Discovery Soccer Club has provided a community-oriented soccer club that fosters the game of soccer through a youth development first model. Today I'm catching up with some of the folks at Discovery Soccer Club to talk about all of the exciting things going on. I'm here now with Executive Director Dave Carton and Boys Director Phil Heinsohn. So how long have you guys been with Discovery Soccer and how has it changed over the years?
Well, I've been here in my role at the club about 6 or 7 years now. I know Phil was here a lot longer than me and then moved on to pursue a successful college coaching career after that. But the question was what changes we've seen in the club since. Well, you know, really the club has grown really in correlation with the growth of the game in the country. So obviously I think it's the largest grassroots participation sport in the US now, and as that's grown, then the popularity in this area has grown with the game, and the club has benefited from that. Also, the growth of population in our area has seen people want to play soccer now, and we've benefited from that as well. So we see that in all aspects. People are starting to take the sport more seriously in the facilities we've got, in the commitment from the families and the staffing level. So yeah, that's the biggest change I've seen since I've been with the club.
I've been back in the club here for about 18 months. Obviously the growth in the club is massive. It's been a huge, I was with the club years ago, probably 15, 16 years ago. Now we're obviously massively different with the size, the growth, but a big thing I've seen is the NPL, the National Premier League, which we've added this past fall, which is it's a regional league, so a lot of teams have expanded into that.
As the Boys Director, how have you seen that particular program grow?
I think overall it's grown across the board. I oversee the U14, under 14 boys through the under 19s. We have some age groups, we have as many as 5, even 6 teams in those age groups. So that from that standpoint, there's been a tremendous amount of growth. There's been success, especially I would say the O2 boys, coached by Dom Wren. They've been very successful. Won the Region 3 League this year. NPL team, the O3 boys, the Green Predator O3. There's been a lot of success in the different age groups. So it's good because what happens is it pushes the players, and obviously the kids are trying to get on the top teams. But the more they're pushing each other, then hopefully we can continue to gain strength in each of the age groups as we move forward.
So, from what I hear, it's a pretty exciting time at Discovery Soccer Club. What are some of the things that you are excited about?
Yeah, this weekend coming up, we've got a number of teams playing. Some are in Columbia, playing in certain different categories of state cups. Some are going to be in Greenville. We have some teams as well playing this weekend. Myself, my team that I have, the O3 team, Coach Wren's team, we'll both have games here in the quarterfinals on Sunday. So if we win those, then we advance to the Final Four, which is in 2 weeks' time. Also, to add to that, you're asking about other things coming up. We have a college ID camp on the 12th of January. We have certain teams coming in, Virginia Tech, UNC Greensboro, University of Mount Olive. That's just to name some of the schools coming in. So it's kind of an exciting time moving forward here. Again, hopefully we'll have a challenge to get some teams into the Final Four and maybe even into the final state cup. With the college ID camp coming up, it's quite exciting.
As far as playing on the collegiate level and taking the next steps, what do you guys do to make sure your players are ready for that transition?
Well, I think what we're trying to do now is educate the kids more, because again, there's only a limited number of scholarships there. College is becoming more and more expensive, so I think just educating them not only athletically but academically, because a lot of times now you're having to package stuff together for college, because again the expense is got kind of astronomical recently. So that's something we just try and educate more, so they understand that not every kid's going to go out and get a full scholarship. But the more they can work on their grades and kind of look for different things together and package everything, I think that's something that we try and stress to them. It's really important that they understand that and have the right fit, find the right fit for them as a right school, the right size, somewhere that they're going to be happy regardless if soccer's there or not.
While Discovery Soccer Club has had a girls program for quite some time, in the last 3 years they have shifted their focus to expand the program. Here to tell us more again is Executive Director Dave Carton and Girls Director Aaron Weldon. Aaron, how long have you been with the Discovery Soccer Club and what have you seen change?
Yeah, I've been with the club now for past 3 years. Came in 2015, and yeah, since I came in, the changes have been pretty drastic, numbers-wise and performance-wise on the field too. So it's been good to see. It's been good to see. It's very encouraging for the future, that's for sure.
What are some of the exciting things coming up for the girls program?
One of the big exciting things now is we've had a lot of success with our older teams. You know, with Dave's 01s and our 03s winning state cups last year. And the great thing about it, and the real encouraging thing, is that we've got little girls teams now with 8, 9 and 10 who are just as good. You know, the potential's there, and the growth has been in those areas as well, which it's been very encouraging to see.
I think one of the key things that we've done for the girls program is to give it a pathway. Okay, and what I mean by that is that there's a progression from, like Aaron said, from like the 05 girls, which do 13 girls, that they can see what it means if they're successful and they work hard to achieve what some of the older girls teams have done. So to go from that, like we've got the older team, which is like the U18s and the U19s, they're all ambitious girls as well. They finished at the top of their South Carolina Challenge League this fall, and they're going to be seeded number 3 going into State Cup and have a real chance of doing something special this year in their final year. So we want to make sure that they're provided for.
I've been hearing a lot of buzz about the Women's Professional Soccer League coming to Discoveries. Can you tell me more about that?
One of the things I think when we sat down, you know, we sat down after every season and like, how can we improve? You know, how can we get better? We did great this year, that's awesome, but you know, how do we get better from here? And one of the things what really stuck in our minds was the ability to offer, you know, kind of that platform where that WPSL team will be our first team, so to speak. If you look at Europe, you know, you've got your first team, you've got your reserves, and you've got your youth teams all below that. So we want to make sure with the WPSL that we get that right. We get that right, and everything beneath that follows. You know, we set the standard with your WPSL team. You know, we bring in the right characters, we bring in the right players, you know, who can be those role models. And then suddenly we see the younger girls doing the same thing, you know, holding themselves to a high standard and making sure that, you know, when they're out at training, they're putting the work in and, you know, realizing what it takes to get to that next level. Because most of the kids we want to bring in are either former college players or they're current college players. And hopefully, I'd like to see within the next 4 or 5 years is the whole team, the old WPSL team is all ex-Discoveries players. You know, that's the hope, is that we bring them back at, you know, 20, you know, either 18, 19, 20, all the way up to 23. And they're all ex-Discoveries players who are now playing in college programs, and they can come back in the summer, live with their parents, and also come out here and train with the staff through the summer. So that's a big thing for what I thought was a very important step for us as a club to offer. You know, that was the next thing for us to offer.
And with that, it's important that the girls are proud of the club, and that they see that they can get to where they want to go through the club, and that the club will provide for them. So when they, like Aaron said, if they come back and they play as an adult for Discoveries, then that's something that's special, right? And it's something that they've, well, you know, I started at that club when I was a baby, and now I'm 23 and I'm still with the club, and that's the goal. You know, if we go and we win and we go at that level, then that's brilliant. But if we don't, and we want the culture to be created from that team down.